Intercession is not a tool for warfare alone. But what if the child does not exhibit those kind of behaviors and you are comfortable? I cannot forget that experience because it was terrible. You see, as simple as that experience is, some people carry it all through their life. Remember, is this warfare? It doesn't sound serious, right? But children misbehaving as you train them and as you culture them is normal and you must expect it. So intercession is not a tool for warfare alone. It's also a tool for culturing. So easy to think your child needs help when they begin to exhibit bad behaviors. Like, oh, my child does not listen to me. My child does not have a desire to, listen to the word of God, do the right things. The child lies. The child does not want to tell the truth. Those can easily tell because they are pointers that something is wrong, right? But what if the child does not exhibit those kind of behaviors and you are comfortable? Let me start from there. Because we're just talking about warfare, spiritual warfare when it comes to children a few minutes ago. And then I just looked at my own life and I saw that when I was a younger kid, I was calm. I was calm. I didn't have a lot of misbehaviors, as you may call it. Because recently I even asked my mom, I was like, I was doing some background check, right? Because as I began to learn parenting, I discovered that certain habits show up in the life of your children. Certain habits that you exhibited as a child yourself show up in the life of your children. All right? Because genetics and DNA, they are powerful. The experiences that you have early in life actually shape you to a great extent. So that is why I was asking my mom, and then she said, no, you didn't stress me that you were a very calm kid. And I'm like, okay. But growing up as a child, there were battles that I faced and nobody knew about them. So we are going to talk about warfare when it comes to children. And this is where I'm going to start from. The unseen battles and warfare that happens within a child. Now, as we mature, a lot of people can relate to what I am saying. There were times where you struggled with whether you were loved or you were smart enough. There were times you struggled if you were worthy to be listened to. There were times you even struggled with certain information that you had. You were being exposed to things that you know that were bad, but you didn't even know how to go about them. You didn't know if you should tell your parents. You didn't know if telling them will solve it. Sometimes you were even ashamed to do it. Now, there are different battles, a lot of it. Let me give you one particular scenario. One funny battle, it sounds very simple, but I think I am not happy that it happened. When I was growing up, I didn't get all I wanted. How do I mean? My siblings are way older than me, and my immediate elder sister is like 7 years older. So it came up as a formal relationship, right? Because they are more matured. By the time I was finishing my primary school, my elder sister was finishing her secondary school. My eldest sister was done with her institution. So at a point when I was celebrating graduating from primary school, my sister was celebrating graduating from secondary school. So you can imagine. But one of the major battles I faced was that not getting what I want. As simple as wanting to eat biscuits. Eh? I remember one time that I stole in somebody's shop. For some of you, will be like, that's the only bad thing you've done. But let me tell you how it affects a child. It is shame that causes it. That day I was going to school and I wanted to buy something and my money was not enough. So when the person left the shop, I now carried more than, God have mercy, I carried more than I paid for. I was in primary school and so I left. I cannot forget that experience because it was terrible. I really wanted it. It's greed, right? You can call it greed, you can call it stealing, whatever it is, but I wanted this and I was ashamed that I could not afford it. You see, as simple as that experience is, some people carry it all through their life. It's the same reason why they go into debt. It's the same reason why they are not comfortable to pursue the things that God wants them to pursue. It's the same reason why they read certain courses. It's just the same reason why they even buy certain cars and live in certain houses. And they never recover from it. So that battle was there. I was ashamed of many things. In fact, I I didn't even like taking pictures. So it's not every child that you see that is shy is because they're introvert. I didn't like taking pictures. I usually had younger children there that used to bully me, but I didn't even know that they were bullying me. And my parents were not aware because it came very subtle. I remember one Christmas where I wore a particular dress, and then these girls were older than me. And they were like, look at you. Sure, it's because you are now wearing this and wearing that. Now it sounds funny. And somebody like, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Like, this is not deep. This is how children think. Everything is personal. You as an adult, you're not seeing it as a big deal, right? But every single time you allow people, circumstances hurt your child, it's a lot. It's like trying to wrap my hand with a rubber band, right? The pain I will feel, I don't think is going to be so much as you would wrap the hand of a 3-month old. So things that don't matter to you, they matter to children. How you respond to them, every single thing is personal. So that battles, they actually remain. So now, because your child is not reacting in a bad manner, it doesn't mean they don't have internal battles. Questions. Am I loved? Why am I here? Do my parents want me? These things are not obvious, but they are there. And sometimes they act cool, but they are there. So how do you find out if your child has these questions in their heart? How do you find that if your child is questioning if they are loved? And you're like, oh, I tell them, no, hang on, just wait a minute. Have you noticed that whenever your child is trying to get your attention, you don't give them? Sometimes, especially when they have not learned how to communicate, they will want to hit you, or they will want to go and touch something or scatter something. All they are looking for is validation, very attention. That's to say that it's not enough. They are still unsure because we as children, when we are sure that you love us, we don't throw tantrum when we don't get what we want or we don't get your attention at that instant. So when you see that a child, begins to misbehave, immediately you don't give them attention, something is wrong, or they begin to withdraw. Do you understand? They are still having those kind of doubts. And sometimes these doubts stay till they grow up. Now, another way you can know that your child has self-doubts. But wait, you as an adult, does it happen to you when your parents, maybe you are staying with your parents and they say you cannot use the gas to boil water. And then the next thing you just say is, it's because I'm in this house, I'll pack my load and leave. That is a response from somebody who is unsure that they are loved. You're like, no, I just felt bad. No, no. It actually hurt you. And so children experience that. So when they react the way you react, and you as an adult see it as normal, know that something is wrong. And it affects children. As they mature, they begin to withdraw. They gradually begin to withdraw. So be careful when you are stressed. Jemima, is this warfare? It doesn't sound serious, right? When you are stressed and your children are seeking your attention and you cannot give them immediately, be careful how you respond. Be careful how you communicate. I am tired. Please, I cannot speak with you now. Can we do this later? Can you remind me, let's handle this later? And then you create schedules where you have conversations with them, especially this period that is the holiday. You are going to spot a lot of things. If this holiday period, your children are not yearning to spend time with you, you have a big battle in your hand. If they are wanting to do activities, they want to spend time alone, they want to watch TV, you are not the person they want to spend time with, then it is terrible. It's either they don't feel loved, they don't feel appreciated, the bond of relationship is broken, which is something that is important that you repair as soon as possible. But as long as they are not craving for your attention again, just know that there is a serious battle, right, of identity, a serious battle of worthiness. It sounds simple, it does not make sense, but that's it. Children take everything personal. I was once a child, right? And engaging with children for years now, I will tell you that this is how it goes, and a lot of people do not know. Now, I want to talk about the most evident forms of warfare when children begin to misbehave. I remember when I was 13 years old, something happened. When children begin to transit into preteens, right? And teenagers, they want to exercise some form of identity control, right? They want to start defining what they want, how they want it, and what they think you should accept. I can remember that period. I can't even tell what I did. Then I was seated. I was seated at the dining room of my house where my parents lived, and my mom walked up to me and she looked at me and she said, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I don't understand the question." And she said, "Who are you?" And I was staring like, "What do you mean?" Like, "I'm Jemima now, your daughter. What do you mean?" I was mute, but my heart was asking a lot of questions. And she said, "I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are, but this is not the daughter that I give birth to. This is not the child that I know. This is not the child that God gave me. So whoever you are, in the name of Jesus, go back to where you're going to. Go back to where you came from. Go back and give me back my child." So me, I was wondering, I said, "What was all this one that is happening?" Like I was clueless. But I noticed that everything that was going on with me at that period stopped. And she was able to spot what was going on as something external, not something that is a default in my character. So she didn't respond, "You are stubborn. You don't listen. You are giving me high blood pressure. Do you want to kill me?" No, that was not the response. She actually addressed the issue. So one of the first things that you will need to do before you even begin interceding for your children, especially when it comes to warfare, is that you make sure that you separate whatever is happening from their personality. You must do that because the devil is going to tempt you to attach it. It's going to show in your attitude towards them. It's going to show in your communication. It's going to show even in the things that you give them. It's going to show in the attention that you give them once you attach it to their identity. And so that period, because we have high expectations, right? Let me talk about expectations for 1 minute. So I got something recently, right? Somebody that trusted me, somebody that I respect, sent me money to get something. And then when I paid, it was delivered to me. You know what they say, that what I ordered for versus what I got. That is what happened. And immediately I saw it, including the color was different. Now, as someone who does not want to have bad or rebellious children, I don't know anybody that wants to have bad children. It is easy for us to have difficulty when raising children and they begin to misbehave. So it's scary. Sometimes it's difficult to begin to handle that situation. But children misbehaving as you train them and as you culture them, having seasons where they try to fight whatever you are teaching them and they try to question or they try to rebel is normal and you must expect it. When children begin to use the same Bible that you teach them so that they can understand God to begin to argue with you, you must know that it is expected. In fact, it is needed for them to grow in understanding and build convictions. So, but that period where they begin to misbehave, even when it comes to greeting, I met 3 children earlier on and none of them greeted. They were excited to see me. They only came to hug me and all that. They were all mute. And I was wondering, are you shocked? Are you surprised? Another parent to be like, "Why don't you greet? Can't you greet your auntie? Why don't you listen? I've taught you this over and again. I've taught you this over and again." And I've seen people do that. "I've taught you this over and again." Communicate, you do not have the ability to understand. "I have taught you this over and again, and you are not offering help. What is the challenge? Is it that you do not understand or you need help?" See, separate the happenings that are happening in a child's life from the personality of that child. Then you see that you begin to see clearer in intercession. You begin to see clearer when you are trying to correct them. You will no longer see the child as a bad person. Now, the devil actually plays a long game, right? And he uses different things, whether it comes to environment. He can use the children in your child's school, the children in the environment, to keep sowing seeds and to keep nurturing these seeds that are evil. Now, the reason is this: the more children do things that are bad, the more difficult it is for us to like them. I don't know who likes and enjoys being with a difficult child. I don't like it and I don't enjoy it. I really like children who give me ease. And so, if the enemy succeed in playing that game with you, where you begin to dislike your child, you are attaching the circumstances to their personality, and it becomes difficult for you to pour into them and bring them out of whatever you. Oh, you will read books, you will pray, and the child will not be changing. Why? Because you are attaching it to their personality. It's just like me praying for sinners, right? Or somebody that is sick, and you're praying for a sinner. You're like, I'm praying that you are saved, or you are a sinner. God cannot listen to you. You cannot be changed. Your heart is wicked. I don't understand. I should switch into, oh, you are loved of God. Though you are sinning, but God loves you, and I see Him bringing you out of it. Conviction of the love of Jesus is growing your heart. Focus on that part. The same mistake, the same mistake, the same mistake. The child is having difficulty reading. You're like, I've heard parents say, this one is slow in understanding. This one is fast. This one lies a lot. You are telling your child to their face that they lie a lot. They will continue lying because you are attaching it to their personality. As simple as that sounds, that is what you're doing. So how do you deny what the child is doing? That is not what I'm saying. There's a different way to communicate it. So the first thing we must do when we are engaging in warfare does not only happen when there's an opposition. Do you know that when you are trying to expand, right? You are trying to grow your child in love, grow your child in humility, grow your child's discipline. It is you expanding from the natural level they are used to. Don't you think it's pressure? This is a handbill, right? If I'm pulling it, if I pull it too much, it's going to cut. If I'm pulling it, don't think you think it's warfare. If I'm intending to expand it to hold a wrist that is bigger, don't you think there's pressure? So culturing is naturally warfare. People mistake warfare to be when something demonic or something bad is happening. No, the fact that you are culturing them in a world that is broken, in a world that does not esteem or reward great values, it is warfare naturally. Every single day, every training that you have is warfare. So you may not even see external warfare or external pressure literally affecting your child, but it can be happening internally. So on these two basic foundations, that's first, to actually engage in intercession and in warfare and in culturing children, when they begin to misbehave, it is important to separate it from the personality. I always tell children when I'm correcting them, I say, you are not a wicked person. I tell them, I say, you are not a wicked person, you're not a bad person. But you keep doing bad things and you know what is right. But if we communicate they are a bad person, they will just accept, I'm a bad person, there's nothing I can do. You keep correcting, you keep teaching. But once that notion is passed and they accept it, it becomes difficult. I have seen children who find it difficult to change. And I know of a particular case. This girl can handle any level of beating. Use pepper, use knife, round the house, use cane, use wire, use iron. She can handle it. Do you know why? Because of insults. Sometimes she misbehaves and it provokes the mother, and the mother begins to talk. So how can we engage in warfare when our words are different from what we are expecting to change and expecting to see? How? How? This morning I went to buy something and a mother told her daughter that her nose is like Shobe. And I froze. I said, is that girl going to grow up making good choices? because you are communicating unworthiness. And the girl did not react badly to see, oh, mommy, like, you hurt me and all. She just brushed over it. I mean, I was hurt too, because you cannot tell me that my nose is like shovel. Even as an adult, don't tell me that. Because my mom did not insult me while I was growing up, so you cannot insult me. But the girl did not bulge because it was normal. So you see what we do? Even in jokes, your nose is like, sorry, this your head, things they hardly enter inside. I don't even understand what's wrong with you. You lose in warfare. You lose in culturing your children. Register them to the best of lessons. One thing will happen, the child may get their brain work right, but you will lose them. So is that winning in warfare? It is not. Now, another way where we actually engage in warfare is intercession. That's the place of prayer. And so what does that mean? What is intercession? Is it just praying, oh God, change my child? Or you begin to declare, this child, you are a great child. You will have a glorious testimony. Intercession is difficult when you are hot. Intercession is difficult when you are tired. I can tell you. And a lot of people think that dealing with children does not come with a lot of warfare, but it does. So how do we engage in intercession? How do we do it? I will tell you of somebody that I know that has done it for over 30 years. I remember a particular time when one of my siblings were being tempted. I don't like sharing personal stories, but that season was difficult. It's like the devil wanted to carry that particular sibling that I had. Want to carry them far into Mexican border of the world. But I noticed that my mom will pray every single day. Not only will she pray, she will stand by my sibling. Oh, it was hard. So really difficult. It's just like it being difficult when you discover that your child is either bisexual or homosexual. It's very difficult for most parents to swallow because they don't see it coming. So how do you begin intercession? I will say this as somebody that's been interceding for a while. One of the things that I will tell you is that intercession is the ministry of Jesus, and it's not something that you can do all by yourself. So when I actually say, okay, for this period of time, I'll be praying for children, praying for the church. Every single day when I show up in intercession, I say, God, empower me to pray. So even the days where I get tired, it just puts that consciousness that it's not about me. You can intercede for your child 5 years and they're still misbehaving. 7 years. It has happened many times. 10 years. 10 good years. 15 years. 20 years. Sometimes it can be 3 months. It can be a day. Countless examples. J.C. Duplantis, great minister of God, will tell you that he was a rascal. He was a rascal. He was a street person. Kenneth Copeland that you know, great minister of God. His mother kept interceding for his salvation for a long time before he got saved. She kept praying and praying. At a point, God even told him that if just for your mother's prayer, you'll be succeeding in this life even though you don't pray, because she kept at it. So what am I saying? First, you must know that intercession is a long journey. And there's nothing that the devil hates as much as intercession. Do you know why? It bets the transgenerational plan of God in the life of your child. It releases the power of God where God begins to work in your child. And intercession even does more than just fixing their character, fixing their habits, or helping them, behave better. No. It begins to quicken the supernatural power of God, quickens their understanding. It cultures their choices, cultures their desire. It releases divine experiences, angelic experiences. It does everything that you cannot do by yourself. So intercession is not a tool for warfare alone. It's also a tool for culturing.